let's go back to meeting your mum, I suppose, because I knew her. She didn't know me when I was a schoolboy.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't 14.
God.
And she used to come into the school to help her dad clean the school, because her dad was the caretaker, you see.
Into the school?
Yes.
Oh, right.
It was only a little school. They only had 4 classrooms.
And that's in Clapham?
Yes, right opposite the parish church.
What was it called?
Well, Macaulay Road, because it was in a road called
Macaulay Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So
used to
Mum
come
used to
in,
clean.
and I used to watch. I used to hide inside the cloakroom because it was difficult. You couldn't stay in the school if anyone knew you were there. You'd be kicked out.
Yeah.
And I used to hide in the cloakroom, and then there was a little window, and I could peep through the window, and I could watch her coming in through the door,
Yeah.
walking down the passage, down the steps, and along to whichever room her dad was in. And then I used to toddle off home. I did this every evening at school time.
Just to watch her?
Yeah, I had to see her come in. Yeah. And she didn't know anything about this, of course.
No.
And then eventually they had a problem because the war started, and the children were sent away, what did they call it? Evacuated. And there weren't any boys to sing soprano in the choir in our church.
Yeah.
So they then advertised for girls to come in. And so about 5 girls left the parish church, because that's where they all attended. And Margaret did, because her dad was the verger at the parish church. So anyway, she came with her mates, and they all joined our choir. Now, that presented me with a problem, because we had a club as well, choir club. And so I used to see her all day Sunday, 3 times. There was morning service, Sunday school, and evensong. And I used to see her each time. And of course I'd walk home with her from the church each time. And so that was a good day. And then Monday night was the club membership night.
Oh, right.
And
was it like a youth club?
Yeah, well, we called it the choir club. I
Oh, the
think
choir
that's
club.
it. So there was adults in it as well.
Oh, I see.
And so she came and joined the club. And, well, she had to. She was in the choir, you see. And, of course, we'd have dancing as well. So that was lovely. So then I had Sunday and Monday. And, of course, Friday as well, because that was choir practice. So, and each time I walked home with her. So I got to know her.
Know her, yeah.
And she got to put up with me. And we used to go out. They had outings. The choir would have an outing. They'd go out into the country for the day.
Yeah.
And of course she came with us, and that was very nice.
That's
as
nice.
well. So, and eventually I managed to tell my parents that I had a girlfriend.
Yes.
And I would like to bring her to tea.
And how did they feel about that?
Oh, they were annoyed.
Were they?
Well, yes, because my brother had just got married. He was older than me by, 4 years.
Yeah.
And he'd just got married, and they were getting worried because the family was getting smaller, and they thought, won't be long before the next one wants to get married either.
Yeah.
And so I brought a girlfriend home, so they knew it was on the way.
Yes.
And so they weren't encouraging me at all.
No.
Anyway, I had her for tea, and that was very nice.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure about my parents because they didn't give her very much attention.
No.
not as she sort of expected.
No, so she was a bit of a rival, really,
Well,
to their
yes,
son.
Yes, that's right. And well, what parent accepts any child's choice?
No.
They don't.
No, is it wary, aren't they, at first?
She was pretty enough for anyone, so... Anyway, that was all right. And
Yeah.
then I decided then that they didn't want me to get married, so I told Margaret. She was upset.
Was she?
Yes, she
Yeah.
wanted to get married.
Oh, did she?
Yes, rather.
Did she ask you to
Yeah.
get married?
Yeah, of course she did.
She did?
Yeah. I got engaged on top of a bus. We'd been to a jeweller's in Streatham
Mhm.
and chosen a ring.
Mhm.
It was her choice, not mine. She chose the ring she wanted, and then it was in the box. And I got on top of the bus, and then we were going home, and I said to her, "Will you marry me?" "Oh, I think so," she said.
So what made you go to Streatham for the ring? That was quite a long
Well,
way from where
because
we lived.
her sister Monica had got a job in a particular jeweller's.
Oh, I see.
I've forgotten the name now, but quite a well-known jeweller's.
Samuel's, Ratner's?
No, something else. Doesn't matter.
No.
And she was in the shop. She didn't serve us.
No.
Someone else served us. But
Yes, she
we
recommended.
went there because she was there, that's all. That's the only reason.
Oh, I see.
And
So you were-
we got the ring we wanted, or she did.
yeah.
And then I put it on her finger on the bus.
So then, did you have to break it?
Then
to...
she said, "How am I going to hide this?" I said, "Put your gloves on." So then I had to tell my parents, and I said, "I've got engaged, but as you don't want me to get married," silence there was.
What's that?
And I said, "As you don't want me to get married, when I'm 21, I shall leave you and get married,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not."
What did they say to that?
All right.
Did they?
Yes, oh yes, they weren't all that hard, but they just getting frightened because the family believe it.
Yeah.
They still had Rosemary,
Of course.
a daughter left, and so...
So I bet Rosemary had the same trouble when she
No, she didn't. She didn't
didn't,
have any
eh?
trouble at all.
when
no.
she got married. No.
No, she'd had 2 or 3 boyfriends. That's why, I think.